The reticular activating system is responsible for filtering reality. We think we can see reality like everybody else, but in fact, we need to constantly delete, distort, and generalize information to be able to handle the world. There's far too much information coming towards us, and we can't handle the whole thing. A well-known number is that we are bombarded by 2 million bits of information every second. 2 million bits is a lot. Every single bit, mostly visual information. If you are in any kind of environment, every single detail is a bit. And then the whole idea or the whole picture, let's say you're looking at a picture, every single dot is a bit, and still you have the harmony and you have a lot of meaning behind the images. So more information, more information, more information. So we need to delete a lot of that information to be able to focus. Otherwise, it's too much to take in. So what we do is this. We end up not seeing things that we are not interested. So a little question for you. You're probably sitting down while you're watching this video. So can you feel the chair that you're sitting down? Now you can. But before you could only pay attention to the sound of my voice, probably couldn't feel the chair. Now, can you feel the clothes you're wearing? Oh yeah, you can probably feel the clothes. So certain things are very easy to access again. But certain things we don't know exactly because we forget. We forget paying attention. So a little example of the reticular activating system in action too. There was something that happened a few months ago, like some 6 months ago. For a little while we had a television at home, and my wife was watching a program. They were selecting the best singer to get a contract and become a famous singer. My wife was all interested, and she said, "Come on, Alex, sit down with me, let's watch this guy is singing so well, he's gonna win, that's for sure." I said, "Is he gonna win for sure?" "Yes, definitely, for sure, he's the best of the lot." I said, if you are so sure that he's gonna win, what about placing a bet? In the UK, at least, we can place a bet on very different things, yeah? So, let's go to the betting shop, I said, and across the road, and we place a bet for him to win. Shall we? He said, "Yeah, but betting shop across the road, where are you talking about?" I said, "No, just here." She said, "There's no betting shop around here." I said, "There is one just in the corner." She said, "No, there's the butcher's, there's the dry cleaners, there's a bakery." I said, "Well, come, take a look through the window then." We used to live in a corner in Wimbledon, and the opposite corner was the betting shop. She looked through the window and she was just, "Oh my God, I've never seen the shop. In 3 years we've been living there." She never saw the shop because she's not interested. I bet you have a little story to tell your friends about the same subject. And I like telling a few stories because accelerated learning involves stories. I hold your attention and you start seeing what I'm describing, and you make associations in your mind, and then that information lasts longer. So now this is the reticular activating system at work. Deleting. She can't see. If it was a shoe shop with bags, she would see it for sure. But it wasn't. So in the same way, she can't see the bags and shoes, or if we're walking in the park, she can see all the kids with little hats. I can't really see the kids because they're tiny and it's not my eye level, but at the same time I'm not so in touch with kids. I don't have kids myself, but she always loves kids, and one of the first things she can see is the kids, the way they are, the dress, the clothes and the fashion for the kids. So she can see that, I can't see. If I go in a shopping center, I will see different things from her. That's our values. Our values, we can see more of what is higher up in our values. And we can see less, or even cannot see at all. We're blind to it. There's a name for it. It's katoma, which is being blind to certain things that you don't care about. So, you probably bought a car at some point in life, or if not a car, a bicycle, and suddenly you start seeing your car everywhere. Oh, one Mercedes like mine, the same color, another one. I say, oh my God, how come? Never saw so many Mercedes in my life. Before buying, you didn't see. Once you buy a Mercedes, you activate the reticular activating system. And then you start seeing loads of Mercedes everywhere. Does it make sense? And another example, a new mobile phone, and then you start seeing emails, mobile phone new deal, and then on a newspaper you can see the mobile phone deals and the prices, and things are very important. As soon as you buy your mobile phone, or you have a new contract with a new provider, the advertising disappears completely from your mind. And I've studied business. I've got a business degree, and I have post-graduation in marketing and advertising. So once you understand that certain things people will not see because they are not interested, wow, whenever they are ready, they will wake up for that need. Sometimes it goes in the background subconsciously, but then when you actually need, it's really evident. It's very, very much there. I went to telling you about the reticular activating system because while reading, you will not be able to see certain things in your book because you're blind to them. They're too hard to understand, or you are not interested enough, so you will miss out on them. But what happens is that most of the time we are very concerned with good comprehension, good understanding. And then we get worried, and you end up reading here something, and then maybe that subject is not interesting enough for you, or you don't have the background knowledge to understand it, and then you will miss out on things. I'll give you an example now. I'm reading here, and then they are giving an example of a woman that is single mother, unemployed, has a problem with her leg, and on and on and on. Somehow I'm reading it, and I'm not engaged enough because I don't relate to her world. Because I'm a man, I don't have kids. She's unemployed. I've got my own business, healthy, and somehow I don't engage, and my mind goes somewhere else. And I keep reading. At some point, I realize I didn't get it. So what I do is to go back and reread. As I start rereading, I said, I got it there, and then I keep drifting off. This is mostly because your reticular activating system is not activated. If you have a purpose to read, you activate it. Because a lot of the time we spend reading, we are reading passively. But if you have a purpose to read, you have a question in your mind, something you actually want to learn from the book, or I'm reading this book, how can I apply this knowledge into my lessons? Because I'm always teaching people how to perform better, be more efficient, how to promote innovation. So I'm always looking for this kind of things. So it's active. My mind is searching for things. But our mind naturally is very passive. if you are talking to someone, is active because you have a turn to talk. But while watching television, it would be quite passive. Television is one-way channel, and most brains are not very active while watching television. You can actually learn something from it, but you end up forgetting quite easily too. If you have a purpose, you start searching for information and say, what's in it for me? It's a really good question that sometimes can be translated in a slightly different way. Naturally, you will find something to help your friend. It doesn't need to be me. But what's in it for me? Well, I've got friends, I want to help my family. So, this is good for Mark. I can tell him that. So I can even make a little mark there and tell him later. I'm actively searching for information. But if I don't understand something, it's a sign that perhaps that information wasn't relevant enough to me. So the advice I would give you, and you can try, if you like it, keep doing it, is to avoid skipping back as much as you can. Through practice, I estimate that the time that we spend rereading is about 30% of the time we spend reading. 30%! It's a lot! But people keep skipping back, and wasting a lot of precious time. But the beauty is that I estimate also that 50% of what's written here in this book, or any other book, is just padding. It's just fluff. And I'm not saying that lightly or in a bad way, saying that Richard Bandler is wasting our time with this huge book. I know there's amazing information here, and I read it and I really vouch for it. But I also wrote my own book, and I can tell you 50% is just fluff. Not in a bad way. It's because I don't know who is going to be reading the book. If you're a teenager or a bank director, and the book is about speed reading and speed learning, accelerated learning, and some people get the information quite quickly and, I got this idea, done. Some people need a little bit more explanation, and one thing that's very usual is to actually tell examples, and then people understand things in context. So I'm not wasting anyone's time. I'm trying to help as much as I can because I don't have the face-to-face communication. So what happens is that by not being able to understand everything, if the information is relevant enough, it will be repeated. Does it make sense? Because if it's important, they will repeat. They will explain in different ways. They'll give you more examples. And a lot of this information that we will find in different books, a lot of it we know already because they come from the ground level. Wow, as you know, this and this and that, I'll show you something new. So a lot of that information you already know. Not everything is new.